What's happening, ITP? Paranormal Phil here. So glad you joined me as we take another look into the paranormal. Also, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified when I post new videos. Also, leave a comment down below and share with all your paranormal friends. So before we get started, down in the description down below, there will be a PayPal link where you can donate to support Into the Paranormal to help me make more videos such as this. Also, you can donate there to help me bring Talk in the Night back on the airwaves to bring you great guests, great content, and all around great topics. So be sure to donate and support Into the Paranormal and Talk in the Night. So let's get into the topic of this video. Okay, so in this video, we're going to be talking about spiritual portals. We're going to explain what those portals are. We're going to talk about cold spots in the portals. We're going to talk about the different types of portals and where they can be found. And we're also going to get into the thinning of the veil between our world and the spirit world. For those that practice Wicca or paganism, we describe it as Samhain, which is actually the basis for the traditional Halloween that we celebrate today. So let's get into that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to get into is this YouTube video that explains portals. It's by Ghost Stalkers from Destination America. We're not going to, it's only a minute and 39 seconds long, but we're going to cut it in so that way I don't get a copyright strike, even though it's only a minute and 39 seconds long. So let's play this. And again, I'm going to cut into it a little bit.
So a portal would be an entryway and access to a different dimension, a different time, a different reality. And one of the things that makes Chad and I so interested in portals is the fact that you've had 100 billion people alive on this planet, and all of those people have died. There's only 7 billion on the planet right now. If half of those people became ghosts, that means there's 50 billion ghosts on this planet right now.
And if there is that many spirits on this planet, which there are different belief systems that say people go to heaven, some people go to hell. So why would there be, let's say hypothetically, like they're saying here, 50 billion ghosts on this planet, where that kind of destroys the whole heaven and hell type thing a little bit. But again, this is just information I'm putting out here. I'm going to let you all decide on everything that I described in this video down in the comments down below. Let me know what you think.
Why is it that only certain locations are haunted? And Chad and I have this idea that there are doorways, there are easy access points.
Now, we're going to get into explaining doorways and portals later on in this video, but he explains that certain locations, yes, certain locations have doorways, portals, if you will, but that increase their hauntability. But could that door move to another location? What about spirits that roam around? Now, being in the paranormal field, as long as I've experienced these strange feelings where there are doorways to the spirit world. I've experienced them moving, but we're going to get into that later on. But it doesn't mean that one place is haunted. If it's just that people don't report some of these places, or some of these places don't have enough activity to say it's really haunted and say there's a portal there. Doesn't mean that there ain't something there. Again, that's just my thought. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Let's finish off this video.
For other realities to slip into ours. So people go to a location that they think is haunted, and they go in with the idea, okay, this place is haunted, and then they go in, they have the experience, and they're like, they come out and they say, okay, that was haunted. Well, they knew that before they went in. The question is, why is it haunted? Where is that haunting coming from?
Yeah, again, why is the place haunted? Where is it coming from? Does it mean that, and I've talked about this in other videos, that houses, even if they're new, doesn't mean something tragic happened there. It could not even be the house that is haunted. It could be the land. And that land, and we're going to get into some of these possibilities of portals that cause portals later on, but that land could be the basis for that portal. And that house has nothing to do with the haunting. But again, we're going to get into that later. And if you think different, let me know what you think down in the comments.
How is it manifesting itself? And so the portal, or the doorway to the different reality, is really key to finding out what's going on with this experience, because it seems that these portals and these doorways lead to different places, different realities, different time periods.
And that would kind of lead credence to like time travel. It could lead credence to the possibility of cryptid creatures such as Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, coming from other dimensions. I mean, I'm just throwing out these possibilities. I'm not saying that these possibilities are true. It's just that I'm throwing out these questions to you, and let me know what you think. But there is that possibility that it's theory, but we don't know for certain.
Different dimensions. And so you don't have just ghosts that you're dealing with. You're dealing with the possibility of interdimensional beings, with time travelers, with people from outer space. We lack the language to accurately talk about this stuff with each other. We say ghost, but everyone has their own idea.
Yeah, everybody has different ideas on this. Everybody, I mean, when we think portals, we think spirits. Or you think stargates, like Stargate and everything like that. But, as he described here, it could mean a wide variety of things, such as portals for time travelers, for extraterrestrials, wormholes, if you will. But when you talk about spirit portals, and that's what we're mainly covering in this video, what are they? Where are they found? Everything like that. Again, we're going to get into that, but let's finish off this
ghost, when the reality might be that you're experiencing a time traveler or a person from a different dimension.
Okay, so that is that video on portals explained. Again, that's from Destination America and everything like that. So let's get into the next topic, talking about cold spots and spirit portals. Okay, so the next story we're going to get into is from the occult world, and this is on cold spots and spirit portals. And this is, again, from occult world. And this story is, there's what you would consider like a Stargate or a portal, if you will, and force. But this story was, the source is A Witch's Guide to Ghosts and Supernatural. So I want to give credit where credit is due. So, as the story says, cold spots and spirit portals. A sudden and unexplained drop in temperature that occurs in an area where poltergeist activity, not just poltergeist, but poltergeist activity, a haunting, or a spirit visitation is taking place is known as a cold spot. Certain psychic sensitive individuals, such as myself, are often able to feel the cold spots in cemeteries, particularly at grave sites, morgues, and other places where death is present. Now, it doesn't. Now that says it mainly focuses on cemeteries and morgues and where death is present, but it could happen just about anywhere, even in a house where there was no deaths. So, again, that's just their thoughts on this. In many haunted houses, there is one room or area, often the site of a tragic death, murder, or suicide. And again, they're just getting into that little bit, where the temperature is lower and electromagnetic readings are higher than other parts of the dwelling. This is commonly referred to as the heart of the house, and in many cases will prove to be the location of most or all of the phenomenon, such as poltergeist activity or spirit manifestation, which occurs within the place. Some people believe that cold spots indicate the location of a spirit portal, and not necessarily, and I'll explain in a moment, but continue reading, or invisible doorways between our world and the spiritual dimension, which the spirits can pass in and out. Many also believe that working with a Ouija board or similar device, or holding seances to contact the spirit of deceased can create or unlock, if you will, such a door which will summon spirits to enter or leave plane of existence. Now, I believe doorways can be open and they can be closed. But getting back to cold spots and portals. Now, one place that I've been to many times, and I know there is a portal there, and this portal has moved, and it moves over time. It doesn't stay in one place, but how can you tell that, or if you want, ask me how I could tell that there was a portal? Well, imagine yourself out in the open air, breathing air and everything, and then you suddenly step into a wall of water and you're underwater. You feel that pressure change. That's what it's like. You feel that pressure change. And I never felt a cold spot in there. Sometimes it was a little bit warm, but it was just more of a pressure change than a cold spot. So again, everybody's entitled to their beliefs, their opinions, their thoughts on this. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. So let's continue reading. Normally, after communication with the spirit is ended and the departed entity returns to its own world, the spirit portal closes behind it. Not necessarily. That portal can stay open until you close it, or at least that's my belief. However, in some instances, the portal will remain open. And usually it does. When this happens, there is typically an increase in ghost activity in the house or area. The only way to close the spirit portal is through prayer or spell. Again, everybody's got their own belief systems on this, and I'm not telling you what to believe, so let me know what you think. I once observed, and this is from this article right here, I once observed an acquaintance of mine, a modern day druid, close a number of spirit portals by placing the palm of his hand against each cold spot and then slowly turning it counterclockwise while visualizing it being sealed. Again, I got different ways of closing these portals to the spirit world, but that's just me. Everybody's got different religious beliefs. They got different beliefs on how to open and close these spirit portals. So again, I'm not telling anybody how to believe anything. It was an interesting technique that I had never before seen applied, but it seemed to work rather efficiently. Again, that's what the writer of this article, or what they took from The Witch's Guide to Ghosts and Supernatural by Jarena Dunwich. So again, let me know what you think. So let's now get into how to find these portals and the common spirit. So now we're going to get into finding spirit portals and how we can locate those pesky things. Now, for me, before I get into this article, and we're going to play a video along with this, is the best way to find them is when you're walking around and you notice a pressure change, like I mentioned earlier, where you're walking in fresh air outside and then all of a sudden you feel like you stepped underwater. That is how I interpreted finding these portals. But let's see what this article says, and this is from Psychic Source. Again, all the links will be in the description for you to check out yourself. Spirit portals are physical locations that allow spirits to move between realms. In this realm, spirit portals can take many shapes. They are often formed when there is a lot of spiritual energy in a particular location. Spirits may actively seek to form portals to reach you. You can also create a portal of your own for spiritual exploration, but it isn't something that you should take lightly. And definitely, I agree on that part. If you're gonna use a tool such as the Ouija board or spells or anything like that, know what you're doing before you open that doorway, because once you open it, it's a pain in the butt to close. So know what you're doing. Now, sometimes they can form on their own and close on their own, but if you're going to open one, know how to close it. Now, signs of a spirit portal. The most obvious indication of a spirit portal is a lot of spirit activity in a certain location. If you notice apparitions, and not necessarily is it going to be a lot of spirit activity where that portal is. There's been times that I've walked through that portal and no, I didn't disappear from this earth into a other realm, but I did feel that pressure change as I explained earlier. Now, if you notice apparitions, unexplained noises, or items moving in a particular part of the house, there's a good chance that a spirit portal has formed there. Hold a pendulum in the location of your suspected portal and see if it begins moving in a circular motion. It's a good indicator of a portal. Now, some people believe that. Again, I'm not telling anybody to believe what this person believes. I'm not telling anybody to believe what I believe. Now, again, this person uses like a pendulum. I don't use a pendulum. I know I can feel the energy difference when I'm walking through a portal, or if there is a portal nearby. Now, this says you may also notice increased activities surrounding a certain individual. People themselves can become spirit portals, also known as channels. A psychic medium will typically serve as a kind of a channel connecting you to the spirits in other realms. Now, I agree there. Now, these are some of the common portals, spirit portals that can occur anywhere with enough focused energy. However, there are some particular locations that are more apt to become portals. These include windows and doors. I believe it because it creates almost kind of a natural opening. The one portal that I was talking about earlier was moved from inside and it moved outside of a doorway. Mirrors, a lot of people believe in mirrors being portals to the spirit world. Wardrobes with doors. Again, there's the doorway, but you kind of get into the Narnia effect on that one. Waterfalls. Waters create, especially moving water, waterfalls, rivers and streams, stuff like that. Water has a lot of energy to it, and that's what it takes for these portals to be open or closed or whatever, or exist, is that energy. The energy we put off, the energy that moving water does. I mean, just the energy, electrical lines, anything like that. Fissures in the earth, there's definitely energy there. Fire pits or fireplaces, there can be energy there because it's like almost like a doorway, but it's also, if you light a fire in there, you're putting out that energy. And of course, there are people who believe ley lines are the reason for a lot of portals. Portals are more likely to form in places where there's a lot of spirit activity, places where spirits cross over frequently, such as hospitals or nursing homes, often form portals. The home or studio that a psychic works in may also become a portal. Now, I kind of disagree a little bit on that because I am a hyper empath. I don't consider myself an actual psychic, even though I've used psychic in some of the stuff that I talk about, but I'm more of a hyper empath. But spirits come and go to me. So is there a constant portal here? No. But there is portals that briefly open up and close as the spirits coming to me and leaving. I don't open these doorways unless I really need to, in which case I do know how to close them. Now this, and I'm going to say this before I get into this part, because this is very important. If you attempt to open a portal to the spirit world, even if you're joking around, know this. If you're joking around, I wouldn't do it, because you're liable to let something in that you don't want in. But also know how to close that portal. But this says, while it's possible to open a portal on your own, it's always best to work with the assistance of a experienced psychic or medium, or somebody like myself, a hyper empath. If you don't know someone that you can work with in person, you can consult with an online psychic, which I don't recommend unless you know their credibility. And again, no psychic is ever, or medium or empath is ever going to be 100% right. It just ain't going to happen. Because and I've stated this in many videos I've done, that no matter how accurate we can be in some cases, we're never 100% right, because if we were, we would win the lotto every single time. It just doesn't happen. Now, are we wrong part of the time? Yes. Are we wrong all the time? No. But it says online psychics. I would not unless you know the person and know them to be credible. To learn more about properly opening a portal. Protecting portals. It is generally best to close spirit portals if you're not actively using them to communicate with spirit or explore other realms. You can typically do this by grounding yourself and drawing up energy from the earth. Again, earth, fire, water, air, it all has a certain energy to it. Channel this energy towards the portal. If you want to open the portal again later, visualize a temporary seal of white light across the portal. If you want to close the portal, permanently visualize the energy drawing it closed like the top of a drawstring bag. Again, everybody's got their own different belief systems. Everybody's got their own way of opening and closing portals. So I'm not telling anybody, I'm not recommending anybody listen to this and say, ooh, I can open a portal or close it. Again, like it said, consult somebody that knows what they're doing. And again, this is from Psychic Source. So again, take everything that I say and what I present with a grain of salt and let me know what you think. Now let's get into this video because it kind of goes with that article.
Common spirit
And
portals.
this is common
Spirit portals
from
can occur
Psychic
almost
Source.
anywhere with enough focused energy. However, here are some particular locations that are more apt to be portals. Things that are a point of entry from one space to another, like windows and doors.
Again, and this is going to be a lot of repeating. I want to cut in, even though it's only a minute long. I want to make sure I cut in so I don't get a copyright strike for it.
Many believe mirrors have the ability to be a portal. Wardrobes with doors have a reputation.
Again, everything, when I hear wardrobes with doors, I think the Narnia books and never or movies. And I was never really into those or anything like that, but doesn't mean that I don't know about it.
For serving as one too. Because of water's spiritual properties, waterfalls have been associated as spirit portals, as have rivers and streams.
Again, like anything, earth, fissures in the earth, waterfalls, streams, rivers, they all produce that energy. Wind, fire, they produce energy. Because without that energy, they don't exist. It takes a lot of energy to move water. It takes a lot of energy to open a fissure in earth. It takes a lot of energy to blow the wind. It takes a lot of energy to make that fire crackle. So there is a lot of energy there.
Fire's association with transformation also links fire pits and fireplaces to spirit portals. A fissure in the earth may also mark the presence of a spirit portal. Want to learn more? Visit us at psychicsource.com.
And again, if you visit them, again, take everything with a grain of salt, even what I'm telling you, because again, everybody's got their own different belief system, their own way of thinking about this topic. And I would love to hear your thinking about this topic down in the comments down below. So now that we talked about portals, as we get closer to Halloween, we are going to be noticing a change in the veil, the openings between our world and the spirit world. So that's what we're going to get into next. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about in this video comes from magicvalley.com. And there's a lot of ads here, so please forget that. But the thinning of the veil, spirit world collides with earthly realm on Halloween. And it doesn't just happen on Halloween. It gradually expands leading up to Halloween, or as I call it, Samhain. Because Samhain is the where Halloween traditions come from. And if you follow my other show, Talk in the Night, every Saturday night on the Talk in the Night YouTube channel, a link will be in the description for that. But I will be talking about Halloween, the traditions, the history of Halloween, the history of Samhain and everything like that. Not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, the Saturday before Halloween. So check out Talk in the Night on the Talk in the Night YouTube channel, Facebook, talkinthethe.night.com. They'll give you all the information. So let's get into this story. And again, take everything that I say and everything presented in these stories with a grain of salt and make up your own mind. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, I want to make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. Also, make sure that you leave a comment and share with all your paranormal friends. So, Twin Falls. Around this time of year, legend has it that the veil between the earthly plane and the spirit world is thin. And they're talking about Halloween. They're talking about October in general. October is when that veil starts really thinning, and on All Hallows Eve or Halloween or Samhain, however you believe it, is when that veil is at its thinnest. So, meaning the two realms collide, and it is easier for spirits to cross over and walk among the living and vice versa. Now, I've never really noticed anybody to visit that spirit world, even somebody like myself going into the spirit world. Again, I've crossed through that plane, that veil, but it was like walking from open air into a deep ocean. That pressure change. Souls really move on and prepare for an exit. The ethereal curtain is believed to thin just as the days begin to get shorter and the nights stretch longer, perfectly timed with the season. And again, like I said, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, I'm going to get into the history of Halloween. Actually, I think it is next Saturday. I'm going to get into the history of Halloween. No, I take that back. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, the Saturday before Halloween, over on the Talking the Night YouTube channel. I will be talking about the history of Halloween, Samhain, everything like that. Many cultures observe this tradition with cultural celebrations and holidays to mark the beginning of winter. Lore has it that it is easier to communicate with spirits around this time, such as those deceased loved ones. The Mexican celebration of and I know I always kind of mispronounce this, but Dia de los Muertos, observed on November 1st and 2nd, is a prime example designed to honor and recognize the souls of those passed on, believed to visit their earthly families on these dates. Celebrants decorate elaborate homes, altars with flowers, candles, and their loved ones' favorite food, including, and I suck at Spanish, including pan de muerto, or bread of the dead. Festivities often extend into cemeteries where families visit grave sites of beloved family members, often delivering picnics and playing festive music. Now, again, a lot of this derives from ancient pagan religion of Samhain. That's where a lot of Christianity comes from. That's where the whole Halloween thing is discerned from the pagan religion. Again, like I said, I'm not telling you what to believe, but if you want to find out about that, again, the Saturday before Halloween over on the Talk of the Night YouTube channel, you can check that out as I talk about the history of Halloween. Gaelic, and this is going to cover Samhain. Now, that looks like Samhain, but it's actually pronounced Samhain. A Gaelic festival called Samhain, or Festival of the Dead, also coincides with this time, marking the end of the harvest season and ushering in the darker half of the year. Celebrated from October 31st to November 1st, halfway between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. The pagan religious festival originated from ancient Celtic spiritual practices. And we're talking about people that were around Stonehenge when it was created. Many in the U.S., however, observe Halloween on October 31st, which grew out of Samhain, when people would wear costumes and keep bonfires lit to ward off spirits and ghosts. Back in the 8th century, November 1st was named All Saints' Day and set aside to honor saints by Pope Gregory III. The evening before, it was once known as All Hallows Eve and ultimately Halloween. The festival gathering, trick-or-treating, and jack-o'-lanterns associated with the holiday in modern times are all outgrowths of these historic traditions. Many local events recognize Halloween, and we have prepared a guide for residents picking their favorite haunted spot in the area, along with glimpses into the world of Jerome-based paranormal investigation groups work to set the mood for this year's merriment. But since our community history is recorded in newsprint pages, we also felt compelled to offer a slice of the past two ghostly rosters of the area's iconic figures and where their remains now lie. And I'm going to leave that right there. Now, I covered a lot here. And like I said, come the Saturday before Halloween, I'm going to be talking about the history of Halloween, getting a little more into Samhain and the Day of the Dead for the Mexican holiday. So check that out. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, as I always say, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified when I post new videos. Also, make sure to leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about this this whole thing about portals, what your belief system is, and as always, share with your paranormal friends. So until the next Into the Paranormal video, I shall see you. Have a good night.